Greetings troopers, welcome back to the Imperial Academy. Some of you may be thinking that only ISDs and naval starships enforce Imperial rule throughout the galaxy. Not exactly. To assist ISDs, there is a whole fleet of space stations that oversee the majority of Imperial-occupied planets, the most prominent of which being the second Death Star. In that case, feel free to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy Galactic Empire or Star Wars content, and feel free to share this video to show your allegiance to the Empire. And without further ado, let's look into the second Imperial Death Star. Within this video, we are going to focus on the stations that we Imperials know best, the second Death Star, and use it as a primary example of how military space stations operate. That being said, the Death Star is massive in comparison to most operational stations, with each and every one operating differently from one another, so it is important that you keep that in mind. Now, we understand that not every naval cadet, officer or TIE pilot is comfortable with the operational procedures of Imperial Star Destroyers, always moving throughout the galaxy to many different locations and being involved in many types of diverse missions. This is where stations come into play. So with that, let's look at the history of space stations from their usage by the Republic, the second Death Star's characteristics and features, and lastly how the Empire utilises the DS-2, and what the experience is like for Imperial officials working within them. Throughout the era of the Republic, space stations played a very prominent role throughout Republic-occupied space, acting as checkpoints and sector markers, marking which galactic sector belonged to which faction, and defending that territory from unwanted visitors. The Republic oversaw many space stations during its height, all assigned to different roles to fulfill, in service of the Republic military and civilian vessels. These roles included medical and biological research, military or planetary defense, blockade stations, primitive research, border checkpoints, communication, stellar research and Jedi outpost. The Galactic Republic had a whole range of uses for its many thousands of operational space stations, which comes as no surprise given how large of an influence the Republic was on the galaxy, and how long it lasted. These stations were the backbone of the Republic Armada, and without them it simply would not have been as powerful as it was. The same can be said for Imperial space stations, and there is no better example of this than the DS-1 and 2 Mobile Battle Station, or as they are also known, the Death Stars. Looking to the present, let's delve into the DS Space or Mobile Battle Station, more specifically the second Death Star. At 200 kilometers in diameter and housing 560 layers from the northern to southern hemisphere, DS-2 is a behemoth of a battle station, completely dwarfing its predecessor, the first Death Star, which unfortunately acted only as a pathfinder, shall we say. The second Death Star is the crowning jewel of not just the Imperial Navy, but the entire Empire, being designed with the intention of striking true fear into the hearts of the galaxy's populace. And while not complete, the second Death Star has proven extremely effective due to its super laser, which sits on the station's northern hemisphere above the equatorial trench. This super laser is like no other that you have seen throughout the galaxy. At full power, it is capable of completely obliterating a planet into nothing but rubble and small leftover chunks. As well as that, unlike its predecessor, it can be controlled, aimed and fired at precise firing arcs to hit and tear into the hulls of capital ships. For starfighter defense, it is equipped with a staggering 15,000 each of standard and heavy turbo lasers, 7,500 laser cannons and 5,000 ion cannons across its outer surface, producing an onslaught of laser weaponry capable of ripping a rebel fleet apart that is daring enough to get in close. This kind of weaponry is a very common defense for smaller Imperial stations, as they can be much more easily destroyed. Looking at DS-2's interior, one major thing you may notice is that a fairly large piece of the outer shell is missing, giving an extremely menacing appearance and exposing its incomplete interior sections. This is because it was constructed in a terrifyingly short time of 4 years for a project of this size and scale, in order to meet the Emperor's precarious demands. Back to the interior, The second Death Star has a capacity for 2 million enlisted personnel from the Army, Navy and Starfighter Corps, with hundreds of thousands of training, engineering, conference, office, cantina and recreational facilities available for Imperial officials to use. An important aspect of the DS-2 or any station for that matter is its capability to house starfighters and vehicles, while turbolasers and surface cannons offer significant defense for the station. It is the starfighters and star destroyers that are capable of getting into the heart of a battle and keeping the enemy at a safe distance. This puts the station at an advantage, giving it a clear view of an entire battle as it unfolds, and allowing the officers and station operators on board to make clear and concise decisions regarding the position and attack patterns of certain ships and squadrons defending the station. Of course, a station as big as the second Death Star requires a hefty amount of power. The DS-2's solution to this? A hypermatter reactor core, which supplies power to the entire station as well as the super laser, with energy being channeled directly from the core to the super laser barrel and out through the dish. This is a factor which allows the laser to be extremely powerful and capable of destroying planets with ease. As said before, the DS-2 is able to accommodate up to 2 million enlisted crew members, with the entire station being a major base of operation for many of its crew within the Trooper, Starfighter and Naval Corps, with the ultimate goal being to enforce Imperial rule throughout the galaxy and strike fear into the hearts of those that would dare oppose the Empire. This should be the common objective for you and everyone else within the station, no matter if they are arriving or departing. As an onboard crew member, you will be expected to perform the task based on the specialised roles assigned to you and that you have trained for. These roles include Engineer, Gunner, Weapons Operator, Stormtrooper, TIE Pilot, Royal Guard, Naval Officer, an Imperial Army and Starfighter Corps Officer, along with too many more to feature in this video. This applies to every enlisted personnel within the Death Star, and ensures that operations within the entire station run as smoothly as possible, which is crucial as the second Death Star is massive with millions of people, so communication and an effective work ethic is vital to ensure that day-to-day operations are perfected, especially if the Emperor or Lord Vader is on board. By this point, I'm sure that yourselves and others are aware of the ultimate goal of the second Death Star, which is to destroy and reduce planets to nothing but rubble in a matter of mere seconds. Correct though that may be, some of you would also be surprised to know that the Death Star is capable of traversing hyperspace, making it extremely effective at doing its job of destroying planets. This means for those on board, especially those within the Trooper Corps, that exterior and planetary offensive and defensive operations are a fairly regular occurrence, with the DS-2 being capable of overwhelming enemy forces with its sheer trooper carrying capacity, being able to protect, carry and mobilise multiple stormtrooper legions onto a battlefield all at once. With that being said, while the second Death Star may be powerful and is perfectly capable of holding its own in a larger battle, the DS-2 is at its prime when being accompanied by the vast Star Destroyer fleets of the Imperial Navy, a prime example being the Executor Star Destroyer. With the support of the Executors and their array of ISDs, the second Death Star and Naval Armada is an unstoppable force, unrivaled by almost no other faction within the galaxy. And that of course brings me on to my last point. Teamwork and effective cooperation is the key to ensuring that not just the second Death Star, but the entire Imperial Navy, Starfighter and Trooper Corps runs as smoothly and as tactically effective as it can be to ensure the best outcome for the entire Empire, especially during the Galactic Civil War. And with that, you now know about the second Death Star. Thanks for watching, long live the Empire, and may the Force be with you.